My beloved child, if you believe this, like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you believe in God, type, "I really love you, God." And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. God bless you, my child. Type Amen. My beloved child, you stand at a moment where hesitation can no longer be your response. Every breath you take is a reminder of the purpose I have placed within you. The world moves swiftly, and the choices before you demand urgency. You cannot afford to delay. What you feel stirring inside is not random. It is a call, a direction, a whisper from my heart to yours. Do not allow doubt to steal what I am offering. Too many have let fear dictate their steps, and in doing so, they have lost precious time. You are not meant to follow their path. I have placed a fire within you, and it must not be ignored. Every second that passes is an opportunity either embraced or wasted. Do not be among those who look back and regret, wishing they had listened sooner. You have asked for signs, and I have given them. You have prayed for clarity, and I have spoken. Yet still, you wait. My child, waiting will not bring change. Action is required. Movement is necessary. The time is now. Do not deceive yourself into believing tomorrow is promised. What you do today determines what tomorrow becomes. Look around you. The world is not slowing down. Distractions are everywhere, pulling hearts away from what truly matters. Many have become comfortable in complacency, convincing themselves there will always be more time. But I tell you, there is no guarantee. The enemy wants you to remain passive. He wants you to believe that waiting is wisdom. But true wisdom is knowing when to move, and that moment is upon you. I see the struggle within you. I know the questions you wrestle with. But hear me, there is no need for perfect conditions before you step forward. If you wait for every detail to align, you will remain in the same place. Trust is required. I am not calling you to figure everything out. I am calling you to trust that I already have. Your purpose is not small. Your life is not insignificant. You were not created to merely exist. You were designed to walk in power, to shine as a light, to impact lives. Every action you take carries weight. Every choice you make shapes the future. Do not let fear silence the voice I have placed within you. Do not let uncertainty paralyze you from stepping into what I have prepared. You have felt my presence urging you. You have sensed my guidance leading you. The more you ignore it, the quieter it will become. Not because I have stopped speaking, but because your heart will become accustomed to tuning me out. My child, do not allow this to happen. You must act while the fire still burns within you. Some will not understand the urgency. They will tell you to wait. They will try to convince you that it is not the right time. But they do not hear what I have spoken to you. They do not see what I have shown you. You cannot let their doubts become yours. You must stand firm in what I have placed in your heart. I am opening doors before you, but they will not remain open forever. Opportunities are being placed in your path, but they require action. Do not assume they will always be there. What I have set in motion is for this moment. If you hesitate too long, you will find yourself looking at what could have been instead of walking in what is. Do not be afraid of what you cannot see. Do not let the unknown keep you from stepping forward. I am already ahead of you. I have already prepared the way. You will not walk alone. You will not be without direction. But you must move. You must trust. You must believe that I am who I say I am. The battle is not against flesh and blood. The resistance you feel is not simply circumstance. The enemy knows what is at stake. He knows the impact you will have if you step into what I have called you to do. That is why he fights so hard to keep you in fear. That is why he fills your mind with doubt. But you must recognize his tactics. You must refuse to let him win. I have given you power. I have placed authority within you. You are not weak. You are not helpless. The same spirit that raised me from the dead lives within you. There is nothing you cannot overcome when you walk in the strength I provide. Do not let the lies of the enemy convince you otherwise. You have waited long enough. You have questioned long enough. Now is the time to move. Now is the time to step forward. Now is the time to act. The longer you delay, the harder it will be. The more you hesitate, the more opportunity will pass you by. I do not want you to live in regret. I do not want you to wonder what could have been. Step forward, my child. Take the first step, and I will meet you there. Trust me, and you will see what I can do through you. Obey, and you will witness the impossible become possible. The path is before you. The choice is yours. But remember, hesitation is a decision in itself. There is no more time for hesitation. Every moment that slips by is a moment you cannot recover. The opportunities I have placed before you require immediate action. The doors that stand open will not remain that way indefinitely. You must decide whether to step through them or allow them to close before you. The enemy would have you believe that you can afford to wait, that delaying is harmless. But every delay weakens your resolve. Every moment spent in indecision makes it harder to move forward. I have already given you the strength to take the next step. You do not need to see the entire path before you walk. You only need to trust that I am leading you in the right direction. I know the doubts that whisper in your mind. You question whether you are truly ready, whether you have what it takes. But readiness does not come from waiting. It comes from stepping forward in faith. If you refuse to act, you will never feel prepared. I do not call the ready. I ready the called. You are called, and that is enough. You have waited for confirmation, but the truth is, I have already given it to you. The conviction in your heart, the longing that will not fade, the way I have aligned circumstances. All of these are my answers to you. If you continue asking for signs when I have already given them, you will miss what I am trying to do in your life. There is a weight to your calling, but you are not meant to carry it alone. I walk beside you, strengthening your steps. When fear grips your heart, remember who goes before you. When obstacles rise, remember who holds power over them. I have not abandoned you, nor will I ever. The path may seem uncertain, but I am the one who makes the way straight. You must stop allowing fear to control your choices. You must refuse to be held captive by indecision. Fear will always try to keep you stagnant, but faith will always call you forward. The more you lean into fear, the less you will hear my voice. The more you obey my voice, the weaker fear's grip will become. Do not let the weight of past mistakes convince you that you are unworthy. I do not call the perfect. I perfect the willing. I do not seek those who have never fallen. I seek those who will rise again. Your failures do not define you. Your past does not disqualify you. The only thing that can keep you from fulfilling what I have placed before you is your own unwillingness to step forward. I have not placed a spirit of fear within you, but of power, of love, of a sound mind. The enemy would have you believe that you are weak, that you are unworthy, that you are incapable. But I say otherwise. I say you are chosen. I say you are equipped. I say you are called for such a time as this. Your obedience is not just about you. The lives of others are impacted by the choices you make. There are people waiting for the light I have placed within you. There are hearts that need the words I have given you to speak. If you remain silent, who will reach them? If you refuse to move, how will they find the hope they desperately seek? Every hesitation is a moment lost, and every moment lost is a soul that could have been reached. You cannot afford to keep waiting. You cannot afford to allow doubt to silence you. I have not placed you here by accident. Your existence is not a coincidence. The gifts I have given you, The experiences you have walked through, the wisdom you have gained, none of it is wasted. It is meant to be used. You must learn to recognize distractions for what they are. The enemy does not always attack with obvious opposition. Sometimes he attacks with delay. He fills your time with things that do not matter, hoping you will never make time for what does. He places trivial concerns in your path, hoping they will pull your attention away from the work I have called you to do. You must be vigilant. You must be aware. Do not let comfort lull you into complacency. Do not let the illusion of security keep you from stepping into the unknown. The safest place you can ever be is within my will, but that does not mean it will always be easy. Sometimes following me means leaving behind what is familiar. Sometimes it means stepping into places that seem uncertain. But know this, I will never lead you where my presence does not go before you. There is a cost to obedience, but the cost of disobedience is far greater. If you choose to ignore what I am calling you to do, you will always feel the weight of what could have been. You will always wonder what you missed, what lives could have been changed, what blessings could have been yours. Do not let fear rob you of the fullness of what I have for you. You have a decision to make. The time for indecision is over. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am asking you to trust me. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to take the next step. The rest will be revealed as you walk. Do not look to the left or the right. Do not seek the approval of those who do not hear my voice. My sheep know my voice, and I am speaking to you now. Do not harden your heart. Do not turn away. This is your moment. This is your calling. This is your time to act. The urgency before you is not meant to burden, but to awaken. There is a stirring within your spirit, not of your own making, but placed by my hand. It is not there to be ignored, silenced, or analyzed into stillness. It is a call, one that demands a response. Hesitation has no reward. It neither protects nor preserves. It only robs. The world convinces many that delay is wisdom, yet wisdom discerns the moment to act. A door may remain open for a season, but no season lasts indefinitely. I am calling you beyond observation into action, beyond awareness into engagement. The mind seeks to calculate risk, measure outcomes, and ensure comfort before movement. But I do not operate by earthly logic. I do not ask for the certainty of sight, but the confidence of trust. The unseen is not a void. It is the space where my power works beyond human limitation. To stand still when I say move is not caution. It is resistance. To question when I have already spoken is not discernment. It is delay. To wait for conditions to feel secure before obedience is not faith. It is self-reliance. And self-reliance leads only to frustration, exhaustion, and eventual surrender to circumstances rather than to me. You were not placed in this moment by accident. There is a weight to your presence in this time. You were shaped for a purpose that requires your participation, not your passive hope. Prayers are not meant to replace action, but to empower it. Seeking direction is right, but ignoring instruction when it comes is not wisdom. I do not leave room for partial surrender. I do not bless half-hearted obedience. I do not wait for divided devotion. You cannot hold on to yesterday's securities while stepping into tomorrow's promises. The two do not coexist. The safety you seek is not found in avoiding risk, but in walking in alignment with my will. The road ahead is not smooth, but it is sure. The path is not without obstacles, but each one bows in submission to my name. You are not left to navigate blindly. My spirit is within you, pressing forward when your flesh hesitates, speaking when your fears whisper retreat. You do not need to be understood by others. Many will question your steps, not because they are wrong, but because they cannot see what I have revealed to you. Their voices must not be louder than mine. Their doubts must not outweigh my direction. What I whisper to your soul is greater than what the world shouts in opposition. Your strength is not found in your own ability, but in your yieldedness. The mightiest warriors in my kingdom are those who surrender most completely. The ones who see the impossible bow are those who refuse to bow to fear. Your victories are not measured by earthly standards, but by faithfulness in the unseen. I am stretching you beyond what is comfortable. Growth never happens in stagnation. Faith is not tested in stillness. Every great movement begins with one step, and I am calling you to take it now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when circumstances make it easy. Now to obey is to align with my divine flow. To resist is to invite unnecessary struggle. You were never meant to carry the weight of figuring everything out. You were designed to walk in step with me, moment by moment, trusting that I am already ahead of you, making the way. The future you long for is not built in the future. It is shaped by the choices you make today. If you refuse to act now, you will one day look back and wonder what could have been. Do not be among those who regret what they did not do because they feared what they could not see. Faith does not wait for the removal of uncertainty. It moves despite it. You do not need every answer to take the first step. You do not need every piece in place to move forward. What you need is already within you: the conviction, the calling, the divine assurance that you were made for this. The days ahead require boldness, not the boldness of arrogance, but of complete trust. Not the boldness of reckless ambition, but of quiet confidence in my sovereignty. Those who shrink back will find themselves trapped in cycles of doubt. But those who step forward will walk in a momentum that only I can provide. Do not envy those who seem to succeed without me. What appears to flourish without my foundation will one day crumble. The only things that endure are those built in obedience to my voice. What you plant in faith will outlast the greatest works of human hands. Your waiting is over. The season of hesitation has passed. The hour calls for those who will rise not in their own strength, but in surrender to mine. You cannot afford to let another day pass wondering if you should begin. The answer has already been given. The commission has already been spoken. You already know what must be done. I am moving, and I am inviting you to move with me. Those who follow will see what they could never achieve alone. Those who delay will watch from a distance, longing for what they forfeited in hesitation. The choice is before you. There is no neutral ground. Walk forward, not because you see the destination, but because you trust the one who leads. Step out, not because you feel qualified, but because I am the one who qualifies you. Speak, not because you have the perfect words, but because I will fill your mouth when the time comes. There is no more time for second guessing. The world does not pause for those who hesitate. The work must be done. The mission is unfolding. The harvest is ready, but the laborers are few. Will you be among them, or will you watch as others take the place that was meant for you? You were created for more than just survival. You were placed in this moment to be a force that shifts atmospheres, a vessel through which my power flows, a beacon that refuses to be dimmed. But that will only happen if you step into what I have already declared over you. Look around. The world cries for answers, yet few are willing to go where I send them. Many want to be used, but few are willing to be refined. Many want my power, but few want my process. Yet it is in the refining, in the process, in the surrender that true transformation happens. The longer you wait, the louder fear becomes. The longer you delay, the more comfortable inaction will feel. The only way to silence the doubts is to move despite them. You do not have to feel fearless to act in faith. You simply have to choose obedience over comfort, trust over hesitation, boldness over delay. You are not just one among many. You are uniquely crafted for such a time as this. Your voice carries weight in the spirit. Your obedience shifts things unseen. Your faithfulness in small things prepares you for greater assignments. But you must be willing to start where you are, with what you have, now. The enemy will try to keep you distracted. He will fill your time with lesser things, hoping you will forget the greater. He will offer temporary pleasures to keep you from eternal impact. But you must not be deceived. You must fix your eyes on what is lasting, on what matters beyond this fleeting world. The call is clear. The moment is now. The path is before you. Choose faith over fear, movement over delay, obedience over uncertainty. What is coming is greater than what you are leaving behind. But you must take the step. You must decide. You must act. There is no turning back. The weight of decision is upon you, and every moment that passes shapes what lies ahead. The road forward is not paved with ease, but with purpose. Those who press through resistance will find themselves walking in greater authority. Those who shrink back will only find themselves trapped by their own inaction. The excuses you have clung to will not hold. The reasons you have given yourself for waiting are dissolving under the truth of my calling. You were never meant to rely on your own understanding. The moment you step out in faith, your vision will sharpen, and the way will become clearer. But the clarity does not come before movement. It follows it. You cannot wait for comfort before obedience. Comfort has never been a prerequisite for transformation. It is in the moments of uncertainty that faith is forged. It is in the steps taken despite fear that strength is revealed. The greatest breakthroughs come not to those who wait for assurance, but to those who trust that I am the assurance they seek. Your hands were not created for idleness. They were made to build, to restore, to carry out the assignments I have placed upon you. There is work to be done, and it will not complete itself. If you remain still, the mantle meant for you will be placed upon another. If you refuse to step forward, another will take the position you were meant to fill. But know this, your place was chosen for you, and no one else can walk in the fullness of what I have set aside unless you abandon it. Do not let fear of imperfection keep you from starting. You will not have all the answers, but I do. You will not feel fully prepared, but I have already equipped you. The path is not about your strength, but mine working through you. The more you trust, the more you will see what I have already placed within you. You have been looking for confirmation, but confirmation has already come. The stirring within your soul, the conviction that will not let go, the divine interruptions you cannot ignore, these are my voice calling you to move. If you wait for something greater, you will miss the fact that I have already spoken. The enemy wants you to believe that what you carry is small. He wants you to think your obedience is insignificant. But the smallest act of faith shifts the heavens. The quietest step of obedience echoes into eternity. What seems minor in your hands becomes mighty in mine. The battle you face is not against the circumstances around you, but against the doubt within you. If the enemy can convince you to question, he can keep you from action. If he can distract you with temporary concerns, he can delay what I have called you to do. But the time for distraction has ended. The time for certainty is here. There are people connected to your obedience, lives that will be impacted, hearts that will be changed, destinies that will unfold because you chose to walk in what I have spoken. The weight of responsibility is not to burden you, but to remind you of the magnitude of what is at stake. Your purpose was never meant to be hidden. It was never meant to be silenced. The gifts within you were placed there to be poured out, not stored away in fear. The world does not need more voices of hesitation. It needs voices of boldness, of conviction, of unwavering faith. It needs the voice I have placed within you. You do not need to wait for permission from men when you have already received direction from me. Those who do not understand your calling were not the ones who gave it to you. Do not seek approval where it was never meant to be given. My voice is the only confirmation you need. There is no more time to waste. Every moment spent in doubt is a moment lost. The urgency you feel is not without reason. The time is now, the work is ready, and you are being positioned for impact greater than you can comprehend. But only if you move. The weight of regret is far heavier than the weight of obedience. The discomfort of stepping out will pass, but the sorrow of looking back on wasted time will remain. Do not let hesitation steal what is meant to be yours. Do not allow inaction to write the story that was meant to be filled with purpose. What you are stepping into is bigger than you realize. What I have prepared is greater than you have imagined. But it will not come by waiting. It will not unfold through passive hope. It requires your hands, your voice, your willingness to trust beyond what you can see. Do not fear failure, for failure only exists where faith is absent. If you walk with me, even your missteps will be turned for good. Even your uncertainties will be met with divine intervention. The only true failure is choosing not to begin. I am placing within you a resolve that cannot be shaken, a determination that will not be swayed by circumstances, a conviction that will stand against opposition. The more you move in obedience, the more unshakable you will become. The winds will blow, but they will not move you. The waves will rise, but they will not overtake you. You have waited long enough. The time is now. What has been spoken over your life is not a distant promise, it is a present command. You are standing at the threshold of what I have prepared. The only thing left to do is step forward. You will see doors open that no man can close. You will witness provision that only I can supply. You will walk in authority that cannot be denied, but only if you choose faith over fear. Only if you silence doubt with action. Only if you decide once and for all that my word is enough. Move now, not because you have it all figured out, but because I have already gone before you. Move now, not because the path is without difficulty, but because the destination is worth every challenge. Move now, because to wait any longer is to miss what has already been set in motion. What you do next will determine what follows. Choose wisely. Choose boldly. Choose to trust me beyond what you can see. The journey has already begun. The only question is whether you will take the step or watch from the sidelines as others do what you were called to do. You know what must be done. You feel it pressing upon your spirit. The only thing left is to act. Delay no more. The moment is now. There is no retreat. The time for consideration has passed, and the weight of this moment demands action. What lies ahead will not wait for you to feel ready. Readiness is not the absence of uncertainty, but the presence of unwavering trust. You must step forward before the opportunity shifts beyond your reach. Your obedience is not merely about your journey, it is the key that unlocks doors for others. Your movement sets a chain reaction in motion, rippling beyond what you can perceive. What you do now will impact generations yet to come. The seeds you plant today will bear fruit in seasons you may never witness. Do not underestimate the reach of your faithfulness. The forces of darkness do not wait, and neither can you. The battle over your purpose is ongoing, and the enemy seeks to delay you just long enough to drain your resolve. If he can convince you to wait a little longer, he knows he can keep you from moving at all. But you are not unaware of his schemes. You have recognized his subtle whispers of hesitation, and now is the time to silence them with action. Strength is not found in avoiding risk, but in pressing through it. You will not grow by standing still. The stretching you feel is not to break you, but to expand your capacity. What seems difficult now will become second nature once you choose to move. Every step taken in faith strengthens the foundation for what is coming next. The world does not reward hesitation. The systems of men may tolerate delay, but the spiritual realm moves according to urgency. Those who act will see doors swing wide. Those who linger will watch from afar as others walk through the spaces they were meant to occupy. You were not created to be a spectator. You were formed to participate in the unfolding of what I have ordained. Your calling is not fragile. It does not depend on the approval of those around you. It is not diminished by the doubts of others. It stands firm because I established it before the foundations of the earth. No opposition can erase what I have spoken. No resistance can undo what I have set in motion. The only thing that can hinder your purpose is your own unwillingness to step into it. You must be willing to walk alone if necessary. There will be moments when those you expect to support you will not understand. Some will question your choices. Others will resist the direction you are moving in. Do not let their uncertainty become your own. Their vision is not your responsibility. Your obedience is. Discomfort is not a sign of misdirection. It is the evidence of transformation. What you are stepping into requires shedding the familiarity of past seasons. Growth demands that you leave behind what no longer serves your journey. The weight you feel is not meant to crush you, but to refine you. Do not mistake difficulty for disapproval. The greatest victories come through the greatest struggles. You are being positioned for more than you realize. The preparation you have endured was not wasted. The unseen battles you have fought have strengthened you for what is ahead. What once intimidated you will soon be beneath your feet. The very things that once seemed insurmountable will become testimonies of my faithfulness in your life. Time is moving, and you cannot afford to lag behind. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. The longer you hesitate, the more comfortable inaction feels. The longer you delay, the more room doubt will take within you. Do not give it that space. Occupy every moment with forward motion. Fill every gap with intentional steps. Push through every lingering uncertainty with trust. You are not meant to live in cycles of almost starting. The pattern of hesitation must be broken. No more waiting for the right circumstances. No more allowing fear to hold the pen of your story. No more standing on the edge of the unknown, hoping for a different confirmation when I have already given you all that you need. The voices of doubt will grow quieter as you move forward. Clarity will come not in standing still, but in walking the path I have laid before you. What you see now is only a glimpse of what awaits, but do not let the unknown paralyze you. I have already made a way where you see none. I have already gone before you where your feet have yet to step. What is being asked of you is not easy, but it is necessary. Those who accomplish great things do not do so by waiting for ease. They do so by deciding that obedience matters more than comfort. They understand that hesitation is the enemy of fulfillment. They refuse to let time slip away in the name of safety. The urgency you feel is not imagined. The weight upon your heart is not accidental. The fire stirring within you is not meant to be contained. You were made for more, and that more requires action. This is not the time to shrink back. It is not the time to question what has already been made clear. It is not the time to wait for another sign when I have spoken repeatedly. You have been prepared for such a time as this. You have been trained through every battle, strengthened through every trial, refined through every challenge. You have already endured what was meant to weaken you, and yet you stand. That is proof enough that you are ready. If you were not, I would not be calling you forward. The distractions around you are not coincidences. They are designed to keep you from stepping into what matters. The sudden disruptions, the unexpected delays, the overwhelming thoughts, all are strategies meant to pull your focus. You must rise above them. Fix your gaze ahead. Set your heart on what I have placed before you. Anything that tries to pull you away from purpose is not worth your attention. Every excuse has lost its power. Every reason to wait has been dismantled. Every argument for delay has been answered. What remains is choice. What remains is action. What remains is a decision that cannot be postponed any longer. Your faith is being called into motion. Your trust is being tested in movement. Your obedience is being proven in action. You do not need to see the entire picture to know that I am leading you. You do not need to understand every detail to trust that I have already prepared the way. What comes next depends on what you do now. The moments ahead will be shaped by the choices you make today. Do not let regret take the place of courage. Do not let uncertainty keep you from what is waiting just beyond this step. The time is now. The moment is here. The only thing left is to walk forward. No more hesitation. No more waiting. No more wondering what could be. Step into what already is. Move into what has been calling you. The doors are open. The path is clear. The choice is yours. Amen.